Hello, welcome to my channel on self-improvement and spirituality in practice. My name is Greicy Hoo, I'm a therapist, and I'm here to share my knowledge with you about many things I learned, especially about how to deal better with yourself, with others, and with life. Everything together is a lot of work. And no one teaches us those things at school, right? Even at home, our parents do the best they can, the best they know, but they are learning as they are living, so they don't have all answers. Anyway, what I learned as a therapist, many things, and not only as a therapist, because I was always very interested in human nature, in studying people's behavior, why they do what they do. And one thing very interesting that I learned by observing and analyzing is human beings are driven by convenience. Vanity too, especially nowadays with the pressure of social media. But convenience is a very interesting topic to talk about. Because basically, what makes you choose to date one specific person and not another? Convenience. I'm not saying that you are selfish or whatever. No, I'm saying that that specific person is more agreeable, is more pleasant to you. You feel better with them, you like them better, or they treat you better, or they are more convenient. If there's no affection involved, people choose partners based on how convenient they can be socially when presenting to friends or family, like a trophy. Many men choose a female partner based on that concept, even if it is an unconscious choice, because they consider that woman as a kind of trophy to show other men how successful he is. But anyway, the thing is, if human beings are driven by convenience, it means that even when they are suffering, they stay in that situation because there can be a convenience involved behind what they show, what they say to other people. And as a therapist, it's important to realize what is their real convenience when they come to therapy, or if they know they have an issue, a problem, their friends, family, or even partner tell them to do therapy to improve their relationship. But if they refuse, there is also a convenience, because therapy requires to be humble and brave, to see yourself how you really are, your, let's say, naked self. And not everybody wants to go that far, because deep down, they know they have their shadows or their weaknesses, or call them whatever you want, but they know they are not so shiny. And they try to hide some aspects they consider negative or not appropriate from other people, but they know what they are hiding. And you cannot change something that you were not aware of, that you don't know, or something that you deny. Like,
I know I can be bad sometimes, but I don't accept that.
so if you deny any aspect in your personality, in yourself, then you cannot change it. The first requirement to change something is to identify and acknowledge, accept, and then try to do something. One interesting thing about people is that we can get used to anything, even bad things, uncomfortable situations. It doesn't matter, especially if you believe that you have a destiny you cannot change. Actually, our free will is not as free as we like to think, but there are things we can change. In a previous video, I talked about reincarnation programming. So there are things that were programmed for you to do in this life or to go through, lessons to learn, but you can always choose not to learn a lesson, right? Or once you are here, you realize,
oh, this is too difficult for me. I don't have conditions to deal better with this.
and you can try to postpone that lesson to another life. But anyway, the thing is, if you believe that
It's God's will,
for example, and there's nothing you can do about a bad situation in your life, you can get used to it, right? No matter how bad it can be. Well, the external is always a reflection of the internal. And even if you don't know that, there is always
Something.
you can do about a negative situation, like learning how to deal better with that so you won't suffer so much or less and less. Or you will learn not to give so much importance to someone who is very annoying at work, for example. You can always learn. And one thing that I consider very much is your point of view makes a lot of difference, because when you see someone or a situation in a different perspective, in a more positive or at least not so negative perspective, you change the way you will deal with them. And changing the way you deal with someone or a situation changes the energy you project onto them. And then in return, you have a different reaction from that person, or the situation will change somehow. Actually, when you change yourself, either the person disappears from your life or they change with you. It's very interesting to notice that. But as I was saying, people can get used to anything in life, even a negative or very uncomfortable situation. And they change only when and if they want to change. Because to be very honest, if you pay attention, you see that many people don't really want to make the necessary effort to change themselves and grow. If you're the kind with a good heart that likes to help everybody, who is always there for your friends, family, it's important to realize when someone really wants to be helped or not. Otherwise, you will be wasting your time, your resources, maybe, and your energy, giving your best to someone that is maybe just acting like an energy vampire, because there are so many people like that out there. People who prefer just to complain and play the victim to get other people's attention, other people's help to do what they say.
They can't do.
And there is a word in Portuguese to name or to describe that kind of person, which is mutreta. Say with me, mutreta. Mutreta is when someone knows how to do something, they can actually do something, but they pretend.
They can't.
So they try to not necessarily blackmail people, but they try to manipulate people to do what they don't want to. That kind of person in Portuguese can be called mutreteiro. So they are doing what? Mutreta. So that type of person who likes to play victim.
Oh, I can't do this. Oh, I don't have the conditions. I don't have the knowledge. I don't know.
Whatever their excuse, the convenience behind those excuses
is
just they don't want to do the necessary effort. They don't want to do anything. They want others to do things for them to change their situation. And actually, the more someone plays victim, the more I would consider that they are doing mutreta. Because what is a victim? It's someone who doesn't have power, right? They feel like
life is not fair.
because they are so good and they can blame God, they can blame the government, they can blame other people for how they feel miserable. But the truth is, when you really want something, you do something about it. You move, right? Even if you don't know how to get help from other people, if you're too
Proud.
to ask for help, you do something. So, in my opinion, people who are just complaining and playing victim, the poor victim, the powerless victim, I don't buy it. I know when someone is feeling powerless, but want to do something and just don't know what or how. And those are the people that are really worth it to help. Because if you feel sorry for them, listening to their complaints and you try to help, like not necessarily with doing something for them or giving money, but with some piece of advice. Just wait to see what they do after you give your advice. It's not that they have to do what you told them, but just wait to see what they are really doing. Because if that person comes to you again complaining about the same issues, and you realize, oh, they are not doing anything to change their situation. They are just saying,
Oh, I feel depressed. Oh, my boss. I don't like my boss. I don't like my job. I'm unhappy in my relationship, in my marriage. I don't know what to do with my kids or with my parents, family.
whatever, what they are really doing. Because we always have a choice. We can always choose to leave a situation behind, right? You can always choose to pack a few things and go travel to another country, move to another city, look for another job, whatever. So my point is convenience. There are many, many people who, in a certain unconscious way, like to have problems, something to complain about, because this way they can always, in their minds, get other people's attention and pity and help. This is the kind of energy vampire. They're always complaining about something, not doing anything in reality to change the situation, but they like to complain. And if you stop your life to listen to their complaints and feel sorry for them, you are giving your best to them, right? Because you want to help them, but they don't want to be helped. So this way, you are giving your best in terms of energy, your positive energy, and they are sucking your energy vampires. And pay attention. This is a very common situation. One friend calls the other to complain about whatever. job, relationship, partner, kids, health. It doesn't matter. And the other feels so sorry for their friend that they start to listen to them patiently and try to help with some advice. Or even if the second friend doesn't say anything, just
listens to.
all the complaints. The thing is, at the end of the call, the vampire friend will feel much better.
Oh, it was so good to talk to you.
Even if you didn't say much, you didn't actually help them with advices, but they feel good just by being heard, being listened. And the second friend might end the call feeling tired, like,
When did my energy go?
well, guess what? The more you feel sorry for someone, you unconsciously adopt an inner attitude of helping that person, right? If you say,
Oh, poor guy, he's in that unfortunate situation. I'd like to help.
well, the more you identify yourself with that person with excess of empathy, like feeling responsible for helping that person, the more you will give your best in terms of energy to them. And what's the consequence of that? You won't have energy enough to put in your own projects in life, to make your life develop in a more positive way. Because all of your best positive energy you gave to those people, you took responsibility for them. And well, you are responsible for yourself first. If you have small kids, then of course you are responsible for them. But talking about adults, everyone is responsible for themselves, right? And maybe this is one of the reasons why your plans are not being successful. There's something very interesting. People, when they try to help others, they are very successful. But when they try to do something for themselves, they don't get good results. Why? They are giving their energy, they are making their unconscious forces work for other people because they don't consider themselves as a priority. So the best they have goes to others. And what is left for them? So if you are that kind of a good heart person, which is good, but it's important to identify when someone really deserves to be helped. Otherwise, you will be wasting your time, your resources, and your energy. And you won't have like fuel to run your own businesses. That's very serious because there are people, those who like to do mutreta, there are people who are in rock bottom and they don't really want to get out of there. They just want other people to go down to make company to them, to listen to their complaints and just be there as a good listener, but they don't really want to go out of rock bottom. Because from their point of view, it's much more convenient to have people doing things for them. So basically, you cannot help someone that doesn't want to be helped. Not really. Like we cannot teach something to people who don't want to learn. It's their choice. It's their free will, right? So what can you do? And another thing very important, when thinking of helping someone, it's interesting to consider, to ask yourself 3 questions. First, did they ask for your help. Because if you are trying to help someone that didn't ask for your help, you can do some damage in their life. Your intentions can be very good, can be the best, but it's not actually what that person needs or wants, because they are already doing something, and if you get in the way, you can do some damage, and that will affect your relationship with them, of course. So first, did that person ask for your help? Second, can you actually help that person? Do you have the necessary resources to help them, depending on what they need? A good piece of advice, money, whatever. Third, do you really want to help that person with that situation? Because I think society and today social media and especially religion kind of brainwash people's mind, saying that
you have to be good. You have to be a good person. You cannot be selfish. So if you see someone in trouble, you have to help them.
otherwise you can feel guilty of not doing anything, or even worse.
What if other people know you didn't do anything to help your sibling, your parents, your friends, your family, they were saying?
Well, I disagree. Family is not everything, depending on the family you have. And those with a complicated family will agree with me. So, as I was saying, do you really want to help that person?
Without
An authoritarian voice in your mind telling that you have to do something. But sometimes you don't feel in your chest, in your heart, and the sensations in your chest can be your intuition or your soul saying, don't do anything, don't meddle in that situation because it will be worse for you or for that person. You know what? Many times, someone going through some challenging situation in their life is an opportunity for them to learn something and to evolve as a human being, right? So if you decide to do something to alleviate their burden, let's put it this way, you can be interfering in a bad way. Like they need to learn a specific lesson with that situation. Because if they already know what to do, they would be doing. If they have already learned that lesson, they wouldn't be going through that challenging situation, right? It's the same with you, it's the same with me. So if you try to take their burden and solve the situation for them, you are not doing any favor to them, actually, because they won't learn. By taking responsibility for them, you are avoiding them to learn their lesson, what they need to evolve. And not only this, you can get troubles with that, because imagine this, their soul, their higher self, created, manifested that situation in order for them to learn that specific lesson. And you are trying to interfere with that learning process. What if, and that really happens, what if their soul finds a way to take you out of the equation, out of the situation, by giving you more troubles in your personal life, like a health issue with yourself or someone close to you from your family, a difficulty in your work that you suddenly find yourself without time and energy to help the other person, or you lose money somehow with an accident at home or with your car, and then you don't have enough money to help that person anymore because you have emergencies in your personal life. So that's why the third question was, do you really want to help that person? Or is it just an authoritarian voice in your mind ordering you to be a good person, not to be selfish, have empathy? So you can look back in your life, times when you try to help someone, a friend, a family member, whatever, and then suddenly something happened in your life, something negative, something bad, that you had to put more attention on your own businesses than on other people's problems. That's another way of seeing things that I have. What life is trying to tell us about the situation, what needs to be learned. And maybe your lesson trying to help someone is not to meddle because it's their challenge. If you interfere, you will suffer the consequences that will be bad in your life for you not to do anything. So, just to recap, when thinking of helping someone, it doesn't matter how big are their difficulties or not. It's interesting to ask yourself 3 questions. First, did they ask for my help? Second, can I really help them? And third, do I really want to help them? In my opinion, innocent, naive people, it can be pretty to sound naive sometimes, even noble, but naive people are more likely to be fooled by other people. It's good to be good. It's good when you feel that you really did something to help someone, you see the good results. As a therapist, I know that very well. I feel so fulfilled when I see someone blooming to their best version with my help. I don't do things alone, of course. If someone comes to me asking for my help, even in a single session, because I can deliver results in just one session, depending on the case. And knowing that I helped the person somehow with my knowledge and they got good results, I feel happy for them. Also because their success is my success too, right? This is something that I learned as a therapist. Not everyone wants to be helped. Not everyone wants to do what they need to change a situation. Not everyone wants to look within them, being humble and brave enough to accept their shadows, their weaknesses, their not so pretty sides. And even with friends, I have some experience with people. Well, I would love to have more 4 or 5 friends like me, therapist, astrologer, medium, well, with good answers for free. But the thing is, I learned to recognize when someone just wants to complain and feel miserable and play the poor victim, powerless victim to me because they want my attention. And I don't have that vanity of being a good person because this is a tricky situation. When you have the moral vanity of being a good person, just to feel proud of yourself. If not, telling other people how good you were to someone. See, people are driven by convenience and vanity. Is it your case? How much? I think this is enough for today for this video. Just a subject for reflection, for you to think about next time you see someone asking for help, or not really asking, but you think they need help, or even yourself next time you think about complaining about a situation. Are you really willing to do something about it and just don't know how or what? Or you just want to complain, to have some attention because you are feeling needy, alone, lonely, whatever. Because people who are always complaining about something, they are not only energy vampires, they are toxic, actually, because they are spreading their negativity around to other people. And negativity, if you are not aware of it, can be very toxic. For example, in a friends meeting, if one of them starts to complain about their job, their boss, their partner, whatever, it's so contagious because you see the other friends starting to complain, but in an even worse way.
Oh, that is nothing. You have no idea what I have to deal with. You have no idea what I'm going through in my job.
You know, people feel proud of having bigger problems in their lives. So negativity is toxic and contagious. And we have to pay attention to not only what kind of people we put in our lives, but what kind of talk we allow them to drop in our ears or our cell phone screen. Because if you don't know how to put a limit, if you don't know how to defend yourself, that negativity will affect you somehow. That's it for today. Thank you for watching.